Did someone bring cocaine into the White House? Yes. Who was it? We don't know. And quite frankly, we don't want to know. It's a news story we can do without. I mean, could you imagine what would happen to this country if people found out Hunter Biden was bringing drugs into the White House? I mean, Hunter Biden. Why would I say that? Sorry, I have no idea. Someone. Could you imagine what would happen to this country if the people found out a high-level official or family member was bringing drugs into the White House? I mean, whew. Could you imagine? Right now, the news is, in all seriousness, that the Secret Service is concluding its investigation. No suspect has been identified. And we're going to let this one just go off into the sunset. No more news cycle on this story. Nobody needs to know. Let's be serious for a minute. Most people believe it was Hunter Biden because there's a video of him where people say it looks like he's tweaking out or something like that. And he is a known drug addict. I do think there is a modicum of unfairness in that someone who used to be a drug addict shouldn't be always blamed for every time something happens. However, to make an educated guess, it's going to have to be Hunter Biden. I don't know that it was him. The Secret Service has concluded they don't know. There's no fingerprints or anything on the bag, so they're walking away. But it is true that federal law enforcement has routinely protected the Bidens, and I got the receipts to back it up. We know the media has been protecting the Bidens and other Democrats, and I've got receipts to back it up. And let's be real about getting drugs into the White House. It's not going to be a journalist or a tourist because these people have to go through security. I know. I've been to the White House. I had to go through security. You're not bringing anything in. As Dan Bongino points out, it's got to be someone with some degree of a high-level person in the family who can bypass security. It's the only way. Here's the New York Post's official report. The Secret Service has ended its investigation into cocaine found in the West Wing of the White House without identifying a suspect, a GOP congressman told the Post Thursday. Rep. Tim Burchett stormed out of a briefing offered to lawmakers moments after it began, calling the conclusion bogus. Wow. Is this the picture? Is this literally, there's a picture. They don't explain what the picture is, but it looks like a picture of drugs. And then a bunch of other photos. They have facial identification. They have, you all know you can't go in there without giving your social security number. And they decided it's just some weekend visitor, Burchett said. That's bogus. Nobody's buying that at all. Burchett added that an official announcement that the probe had wrapped would come Friday. Come on. Who could it have been? Ben Shapiro tweets, "We are now being asked to believe that the most secure building on the planet has no surveillance necessary to effectuate the identification of the person who left cocaine there." Sure. And then Ben accurately points out, I mean, it's not as though Secret Service has ever tried to cover up a Hunter Biden crime. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Ben Shapiro brought the receipts and we are pulling it up for you. This is from Politico. 2021, March 25th. Secret Service inserted itself into case of Hunter Biden's gun. The bizarre incident involved a trash can, a man searching for recyclables, and eventually federal law enforcement. So it looks like, I can only assume, the drugs belong to Hunter Biden. Not that I want to blame him as somebody who was a well-known addict, but who else do we blame? To be fair, I'm willing to bet all the Bidens are doing crazy drugs. Come on. Why wouldn't they be? It's the old trope of the guy in the suit, the party, the high-level individuals in government and politics and corporations snorting cocaine at a party with hookers or whatever it is they're doing. And we know that Hunter Biden quite literally did that. Smoked a lot of crack and banged many hookers. Sorry, not very family friendly. With the conclusion of this story, a lot of people are left scratching their heads. But for those of us that are in the know, it's actually quite simple. Likely Hunter Biden, even if only a small percentage chance. Who else are our suspects? And the Secret Service has protected him before. Take a look at this story that Ben Shapiro pointed out from Politico. On October 23rd, 2018, President Joe Biden's son and daughter-in-law, Haley, were involved in a bizarre incident in which Haley took Hunter's gun and threw it in a trash can behind a grocery store, only to return later to find it gone. Are we going to criminally charge this woman? Because apparently this was across from a school. Delaware police began investigating, concerned that the trash can was across from a high school and that the missing gun could be used in a crime, according to law enforcement officials and a copy of the police report obtained by Politico. But a curious thing happened at the time. Secret Service agents approached the owner of the store where Hunter bought the gun and asked to take the paperwork involving the sale. according to two people, one of whom has firsthand knowledge of the episode, and the other was briefed by a Secret Service agent after the fact. The gun store owner refused to supply the paperwork, suspecting that the Secret Service officers wanted to hide Hunter's ownership of the missing gun in case it were to be involved in a crime, the two people said. The owner, Ron Palmieri, later turned over the papers to the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, which oversees federal gun laws. The Secret Service says it has no record of its agents investigating the incident, and Joe Biden, who is not under protection at the time, said through a spokesperson he has no knowledge of any Secret Service involvement. Man, these people are so crooked. Days later, the gun was returned by an older man who regularly rummages through the grocery store's trash to collect recyclable items, according to people familiar with the situation. The incident did not result in charges or arrest, but the alleged involvement of the Secret Service remains a mystery. One law enforcement official said that at the time of the incident, individual Secret Service agents at the agency's offices in Wilmington, Delaware, and Philadelphia kept an informal hand in maintaining the former vice president's security. The person cited an instance in 2019 when the Wilmington office of the Secret Service called the Delaware State Police to arrange security for a public appearance by Biden. The Secret Service declined to answer a question about whether it had informal involvement in Biden's security during this period. Asked whether the Secret Service requested state police security for Biden during the period when he was not under the agency's protection, a Delaware State Police spokesman said, "I've reached out to our sergeant who oversees the Executive Protection Unit with the Delaware State Police. He is unaware of any such requests or service provided." I got a question. What is the Secret Service doing to protect the Bidens? Why are they involved in this when the Bidens are out of office, especially Hunter, no less? Well, I believe the Secret Service was not seeking to protect Hunter, but they were seeking to protect Joe. I'm willing to bet that Democrats were seeking to protect Joe because they planned to have him run in 2020. And so I believe this story was about an incident in 2019. That's what it said it was. In 2018. When Donald Trump called up the president of Ukraine and said, what's this thing about Joe Biden saying he's going to withhold loan guarantees? They said he was trying to dig up dirt on his political rival. But at the time, Joe Biden wasn't running for president. Now, I speculated perhaps the reason Joe Biden did run was because they needed some kind of excuse to protect him from a criminal probe related to Donald Trump's inquiries into what the Bidens had been doing in Ukraine. It could be, however, they always intended on running Joe Biden, and that's why he maintained this, let's just call it less than public security detail. Well, how about this one for you from the Daily Mail? Are you protecting the Bidens? FBI Director Wray is torched by his harshest GOP critics as he has read Hunter's shakedown message to Chinese Communist Party business partner during congressional grilling. Wray faced a line of questioning on the Hunter Biden laptop, COVID origins, and unlawful FISA inquiries. I want to talk to you about the Biden family, right? That's the context here. But I have a clip. Benny Johnson tweets, FBI Director Wray refuses to deny FBI assets or confidential human sources were present at the Capitol on January 6. I want to play for you just a bit of this exchange to understand the nature of the intelligence agencies. Because if you think they're going to give you an honest answer, I'm sorry, I've got a bridge to sell you.
It has been reported that more than 40 FBI personnel, agents, or contractors were in the crowd on January 6th. Is that number accurate?
I don't know if that number is accurate.
Former Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sun reportedly has asserted that the protest crowd was filled with federal agents. Are you aware of his assertion?
I am not.
Would you agree with him that it was filled with federal agents on January 6th?
I would really have to see more closely exactly what he said and get the full context to be able to evaluate it.
How many agents were actually agents or human resources were present in the Capitol complex and vicinity on January 6th?
Well, again, it's going to get confusing because it depends on when we deployed and responded to the breach that occurred. Obviously,
right there. Do you get it? You're trying to communicate with someone. We're trying to get to the bottom of a major breach of U.S. security. And Director Wray knows exactly what he just did. They are protecting these individuals, federal agents who may have been involved in January 6th in inciting, and Democrats I think it was Jack Posobiec, I could be wrong, who said that there are three. It's a three-tiered justice system. There's the protected, the indifferent, and the persecuted. Let me break down for you exactly what he did. Andy Biggs is asking about confidential sources, human resources, undercover agents. We understand the context of his question. Director Wray goes, well, it depends on when we deployed. As if to accident. Oh, I thought you meant actual deployed law enforcement. Whoops. That right there is the greatest indication, in my opinion, that Wray knows there were undercover assets, informants, or otherwise on the ground involved in January 6th. Changing the context with his answer was laughably stupid. But it's the game they play. Why? Because you are being asked a question, and I don't know if this was under oath or not, but lying either way to Congress could be a problem for you. And this is why I explain to many of these Republicans and conservatives, the answer is always what you want it to be. There's always some circuitous justification. As you see here, this is what Democrats do. How many human resources or agents did you have on the ground during January 6th? I think we deployed 50 uniformed and badged law enforcement officers. That's not what I'm asking. You're asked a series of questions about undercover agents. And then when the question comes up, how many were there, you change the context. That says to me, this dude knows he's lying. Now, the interesting thing here is that Andy Biggs goes on to repeatedly ask him, and Wray just says, I don't know. I don't know how many there were. And he's like, wait. You don't know? As if to imply there were some. Now, there have been several law enforcement agencies, law enforcement officers who have said that there were a ton of law enforcement agents. There's guys yelling, go, 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 and things like that. My point is this. These people are corrupt. They are dirty. They have infected government. And by all means, blame Donald Trump for Wray. Trump should have gone in and fired everybody the first chance he got, but unfortunately, he didn't do it. Naive. He didn't get it. I think Trump gets it now. And I think that's why he wants to get back in so he can fire everybody. And unfortunately, I think Ron DeSantis is probably on a similar track to Donald Trump. He'll go in and try and play ball. They'll destroy him. Take a look at this. FBI Director Christopher Wray insisted he is absolutely not working to protect the Biden family, as he claimed the agency has not been politicized during a face-off with Republicans. GOP Rep. Matt Gaetz displayed a text message allegedly sent by Hunter Biden where the president's son wrote to a Chinese Communist Party official, Henry Zhao, on July 30th, 2017, demanding money for a business deal. I'm sitting here with my father, and he says we, would like to understand why the commitment has not been fulfilled. Several days later, lots of money came into the Bidens. Sounds like a shakedown, doesn't it, Director? You won't answer the question, and everyone knows why you won't answer, because to the millions of people seeing this, they know it's a shakedown. People trusted the FBI more when J. Edgar Hoover was running the place than when you are, Gaetz. Yikes. Gaetz went on. In your home state of Florida, the number of people applying to come work for us is up over 100% since I started, Wray shot back. They deserve better than you, said Gaetz. Wow. Gaetz and other Republicans also tore into Wray for the FBI's unlawful use of Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, FISA. 702 under FISA allows U.S. federal intelligence agencies to conduct targeted searches of foreigners, but sometimes Americans are improperly searched in the process. The provision is set to expire by the end of the year. Crazy. The FBI admitted to using FISA to run queries 204,000 times in 2022 on American citizens, from January 6 protesters to BLM demonstrators. People were looking themselves up, looking their ex-lovers up, using the FISA process as their creepy personal snoop machine. Now, this is getting into a bigger issue here. My big story, I think the main story was, not my big story, but the main story, Hunter Biden seemingly getting away with everything. Now, to be fair, I don't know that the cocaine at the White House belonged to Hunter Biden. But I'm going to tell you this. Until they can actually tell me who it belonged to, in my opinion, probably belonged to the drug addict, Hunter Biden. How else could it have got in there? But this story here exemplifies exactly what we've been talking about. It's not just the Bidens who are being protected. It's the Democrat establishment. Joe Biden had classified documents in his garage and his offices. Any criminal charges? None. Hillary Clinton destroyed public records when she had her servers purged using BleachBit and phones smashed with hammers. And to be fair, smashing the phones with hammers doesn't destroy the data. They really don't understand what they're doing. But purging the server was the destruction of public record that she had no right to do. Oh, it's yoga emails. Doesn't matter. I don't care. You destroyed public records. I don't believe you. But that's the game. No reasonable prosecutor would bring charges against Hillary Clinton. That's what we were told. Yet Donald Trump is being criminally charged for what? He had some documents. The media lies about audio recordings of him, and Trump is stupid enough to keep falling for giving these people interviews. But, you know, this is the game we're in. Donald Trump is on an audio recording where he's like, I could have declassified the story. Take a look at this story. He says, take a look at this. You know, look, this is them, blah, blah, blah. The media tried framing the audio to be Donald Trump holding up, because you can't see any video, holding up classified documents. I wonder why it's just audio. Journalists were recording just audio, perhaps. Donald Trump says he was holding up news stories and magazine clippings. And just a few days prior, there was a story that came out about exactly this. So what makes the most sense? What context would Trump have to hold up a document they don't understand and say that was them, not me? The document would be impossible to read. It would be small text. You'd have to go through it to understand the full context. It's not a news report. It would be a briefing. What if, however, Trump was holding up a news report that had a big, bold headline that said Trump X, Y, and Z? Then Trump says, see this? That was actually them. I should have declassified that. The most logical scenario is that Trump was holding up a news story that had just come out. I think it was like, what was it, the Atlantic or something? And they falsely frame it to be that he was showing classified documents. They all believe it. Take a look at Ray Epps. I don't know what his deal is, but boy, is the media coming up to defend him. Even liberal pundits right now are tweeting only that he's suing Fox News and ignoring the massive story that in the lawsuit, he's saying he's being criminally charged or he's about to be. Media outlets calling the January 6th a protest or a rally now. Remarkable. The machine is protecting criminal elites. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. I don't care if you want a Democrat to win. You're allowed to. But something is wrong with this country when the Bidens keep getting away with all of this. And you know what the laughable thing is? If you are of the mind the Bidens did nothing wrong, you're in a cult. End of story. Because I'm seeing these liberal pundits be like, if you really believe the Biden corruption scandal, it's a big nothing burger. Nothing happened. It's like, why are you defending Joe Biden? Of all people, vote for Newsom or something. The Biden family has a long track record of this kind of stuff. Hunter Biden has text messages shaking down a Chinese Communist Party member. I believe it's Chinese Communist Party. Chinese Communist Party official Henry Zhao. There's a text message from him. We have it. And they're like, no, it's a big nothing burger. Okay, then let's break it down. That same behavior you see from these liberal pundits where they act like nothing happens is the same attitude you're going to get from these crackpot intelligence agencies that are lying because they're in a cult. That's really it. I don't think there's like a moneyed interest. I don't think there's an agent who was they slipped him cash under his door and they're like, just do as you're told. Like some stereotypical crooked cop or anything like that. I think they are all psychotic cultists who want to march in lockstep. That's the scarier reality. They just do these things sort of as an emergent phenomenon. They know Biden's crooked. They know he's corrupt. They know his kid's corrupt. They know there's shady dealings going on in this family. But it is not politically correct to bring it up. And if you do, you're conservative. That's what they say. It doesn't matter what your political views are. It doesn't matter what your thoughts on policy is. I actually said recently, I think Roe v. Wade, actually now I think about it, it's the right decision. Roe v. Wade should have remained. There should have been, I believe, some changes to the precedent. It should be that, you know, up to a certain point, abortion is within the privacy of the individual, but 14th Amendment kicks in and creates some restrictions. And that was sort of it, but not really. What do they say? They say that I'm conservative. And that's just a weird position. My calling out of corruption in government makes me a conservative, they would argue. I talk about freedom and free speech, and they say that's a conservative position. Well, there you have it. They're authoritarian crackpots who can do no wrong. It is left-wing to side with corruption. It is right wing to call out corruption. That's their definition, not mine. But if that's what they're trying to argue, then okay, I guess I wouldn't know how else to frame it. They say that because I'll say things like we or us, that means I'm conservative, which is the weirdest thing. Because the context of we and us in their mind means conservative. As if to say a liberal who says we or us is referring to conservatives. None of it makes sense, does it? Either you agree with the cult or you're conservative. Okay, welcome to the brave new world, I suppose. All of you are conservatives, no matter how liberal you are, no matter how socialist you are, you're conservatives because you disagree with the machine protecting the Biden family and their corruption. What a wonderful time to be alive. Don't get me wrong. Donald Trump's the one who appointed Wray. So a lot of this is on his bad choice in personnel, but I think it's fairly obvious. Trump thought he was going to go in, be a fairly normal president, enact policies he wanted, and play ball half the time. He thought he would take the advice of these DC elites, appoint people they told him to, and boy, did that stab him in the back. Talk about a major mistake on the part of Donald Trump. And by the time he realized it was too late. But maybe he'll get reelected and he'll appoint some better people. Maybe not. I can only tell you this. I don't think there's anyone else who would come close. Ron DeSantis has good policy, but I think there's a strong likelihood that he'll just play ball and try and negotiate. Donald Trump, however, wants revenge. He may not get it. He may play stupid politics again. I'll take what I can get. Next segment's coming up at 4 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.